Alabama is consistently getting really good recruits, and it's not like the NFL where one person leaves and the team might look totally different. At Alabama, assuming there's not huge losses in the transfer portal, the big difference is just going to be the coach. I also would not want to be the next coach. Now, there are some positives to it. He'll probably get fired within 2 to 3 years, get a massive buyout, and he'll be set for life financially. But everyone will hate him.
What is up, Sportscast? Welcome to the Sports Stuff Show, the Kings of Comedy. I'm Adam.
I'm Carter.
And I'm Kanan.
Let's get right into it. Why? Why are there just random updates?
That wasn't me.
That's not even. You didn't even spell my last name right. You spelled Bridgers.
You were rushing me.
He said Adam Bridgers.
Well,
Slaughters.
okay. You were rushing me. I was.
Okay.
I wasn't.
Adam Bridgers.
Slaughters.
What do you have to say for yourself there?
What?
Well, I mean, this is not shocking because we already knew that Kanan can't spell. I mean,
why is that how we're starting a show? Get out of here.
Dude,
you cut me short on a joke.
I explicitly remember one time you tried to put K9 is here on my board, and he struggled with the here. He was like, was struggling.
While.
Yeah, it was like her, and then he put H-E-R, and then he wasn't sure if it was H-E-A-R or H-E-R or H-E-R-E. So we were just looking at him.
H-E-R-E.
And finally, he learned. But
no, I knew.
We were sitting there, and we're like, there's no way. There's no way he's just, like, not Clem. And he just genuinely did not know.
Yeah, you share a major with him.
That is true. Woo. We actually have our first class, our first official class together.
Crap,
oh, yeah, I know. Yeah, he's, like, kind of like one of my, what is it, like a TA?
Yeah, I guess so.
He's a teacher's pet.
But
he's a teacher's pet.
Anyways.
I'm going to make it.
Dude. When I was like starting off college and even like later in high school, what I used to do was I knew that like if you sucked up to the teacher within the first like couple of weeks, then you could do whatever you want in the class and you'd be perfectly fine.
So if I like suck.
So like what I would do was at the beginning of every class, I would answer every question. I would answer everything. I would always raise my hand. I would be so attentive. And then for like the second week, I would just fall off, and I would just like not show up to class, not answer anything, just be on the back of the class. What?
Nothing.
So what if I suck up to the TA?
Why?
I don't know. We share a room together. I got a lot of time.
Okay, let's move.
What do you mean? Like if we're in a room like and I need help with my homework, I'll be like, hey TA. That's what I mean by that. What do you think I meant?
This is just weird. Let's just move on.
You made it weird.
Let's just move on. I was just telling a story, and then you were
kept
just
on. Finish the update.
Okay. I already did. Okay, moving on. We have college sports. We have a lot of football that happened when we were gone, including the biggest one, which is Michigan beating Alabama, or not Alabama. Michigan winning it all. I mean,
they did beat
Alabama.
They did beat Alabama, but that wasn't like the latest game. Mm-hmm. It was them beating Washington.
But we were gone.
Yeah, we were gone.
We didn't talk about it.
And they won. I mean, the biggest play in that one was the final play in the end of the game. If I'm going to be honest, this was probably what should have been the championship game. I think
Washington?
No, Michigan, Alabama.
No.
I mean,
no.
It was. I think I said that when the playoff came out. Like this is the championship. But yeah, they beat Bama by 7. McCarthy played one of his best games of his career, which
doesn't say much. What?
Anyway. And then Washington beat Texas. Both games going into overtime, by the way, which I would just like to take a moment.
No.
Really?
Washington didn't go to Texas. It was like last second, though.
Washington did play Texas, but they didn't go to overtime.
Did it not?
No, it was last second.
Okay, an overtime game and a last play of the game play.
Thank you.
Either way. I would just like to take this moment to thank the College Football Playoff Committee for not putting Florida State in because they didn't deserve to be in. And I put right here, I apologize, I'm going to have to read this word for word. Big headline. Florida State loses by 60 after their constant bitching and whining for 2 straight weeks. And just a little note here, they have somehow managed to continue to be that way. And so I know they had a lot of players sit out, but Georgia's bench warmers smoked Florida State's bench warmers 21-0 in the second half. They didn't belong anywhere near the playoff, and I'm very glad that they were kept out so we could have 3 really good games. 2 really good games and a championship.
Well, we were talking about it. Who would they have kept out of the playoff?
Texas.
Like, hypothetically, Texas.
Absolutely.
So, what would the score of that game be, you think?
What, Georgia?
Texas, Florida State. Or no, Washington, Florida State.
What do you,
Oh,
no.
wait, are you talking about
Washington,
Georgia?
Florida State? Oh, it would have been like 48-3.
I don't know. I don't agree with that one.
Why?
I don't. Okay. My issue
It
with
may be a
bowl
little
games,
bit of an exaggeration, but Florida State without Jordan Travis isn't a top 10 team.
I'm going to be real. Bowl games this year, not including the college football playoffs, really bored me just because it was all bench players. So, I
Not
mean,
all.
yes, Georgia's way deeper than Florida State, which is why they won by 60. Don't get me wrong. I'm not.
Oh, they're better at
advocating
the
for that.
top, too.
They're
They're better at the top,
Well,
too.
Georgia
They're
was
just-
also
they're just a
arguably
better
probably
team.
the best team.
Georgia was.
One of the best.
That's
teams.
what I was going to say. If I had to re-rank all the teams right now,
I would have put
Georgia, Michigan's a toss-up for number 1 for me.
Mhm.
really not even. I mean, I probably would have slipped Georgia in at 4, move Bama up 3, take Texas.
I'm not
out.
saying like playoff ranking because that's all resume based. I'm talking like who I think is the best team in the country.
Oh.
After the
never
bowl
mind then.
games, after the playoff, all of that.
Well, I'll scratch all that and throw Ohio State 4. I'll move Alabama to 2, Georgia 3. So I'm moving Washington down.
You're really
Texas
putting
down.
Ohio State in there?
Yes. Ohio State only didn't make the college football playoffs because they lost the last game of the year to Michigan on a last
Yeah, but
drive
didn't you
fail.
see their bowl game?
Okay, they played all. Okay, you can't use
Okay.
bowl games as an example.
They were
Missouri used all their
Dude,
starters.
the quarterbacks they were starting.
Correct me
The
if I'm
what?
wrong.
Like, I mean,
Correct me if I'm wrong. but
Ohio
didn't-
State had a lot of people that ended up playing that people didn't think they would. However, their quarterback situation was a disaster.
And correct.
Their
correct me if
starting
I'm wrong,
quarterback
though.
wore number 33 because he was inspired by Sammy Baugh.
That's tough. Okay.
He was horrible.
I just know it ended 14-3.
He
I
was
didn't even
just
watch the game.
absolutely
It was
horrendous.
a bad game.
And then he got hurt,
I didn't
and
watch
the
it.
guy who came in to replace him was about the same. But
Throw me in.
anyway, yeah, Michigan beat Washington to become the champions.
It was a good game. I thought it was a good game. I mean,
Not really.
I mean, it was 20-13, but like up to that last drive, it's just Michigan's defense just.
Yeah, I guess.
It was a close game. up
There
until
were a
those
few
last- until, like-
possessions where UW was actually getting stops that you're like, okay, maybe they
Yeah,
can do something.
Exactly.
They just couldn't score.
Exactly. And that's
Mm-hmm.
SEC defense right there.
They're not in the SEC. But
Well, that-
Big
that's-
Ten. Oh,
right. Yeah. So Michigan gave a little welcome to the Big Ten to Washington, as obviously they're going to be joining there next year. And that is a huge story, the championship, of course. But I think an even bigger story is Nick Saban just retired.
yeah.
The
That is
greatest
wild.
coach in the history of college football ever is gone.
All right. And I heard from a source that the Broncos are going to use him as an offense coordinator.
Oh my.
Don't listen to him.
so-
No, I trust my sources.
I mean, it's important to talk about how this is going to completely shake up the shake up NCAA football. Because, I mean, how many people are we going to see transfer from Alabama?
Who knows?
Or
I think the SEC
who are they
is
gonna
just going
hire?
to get more stacked. People are
Really?
going to want. I mean, okay. This is just a philosophy. I don't know if people actually do this, but I mean, I assume people don't really want to play Alabama when they're young in college. So
Mhm.
they probably go to other schools because for the exact reason of not playing, either playing at Alabama or not playing Alabama at all. So now I think the SEC just gets stronger. I think Alabama probably will fall out a little bit of it, but I think like other teams in the SEC will just get gross.
I'm going to have to completely disagree with that.
Really?
I really don't think that any high school kid in the country is making their decision based off of not wanting to play Alabama.
yeah, I mean, Georgia.
don't
I
think-
mean, I
like,
think
I don't think there's a
LSU,
single
Clemson.
kid that's doing
I mean,
that.
if you have a kid that has okay, besides Georgia, but if you have a kid that has like a Tennessee hat, like I'm trying to think like of a kid that's just crazy good, like in this made up scenario, and the 3 hats he has in front of him are Tennessee, like I don't know, I'm trying to think of a pretty good Big Ten, like Ohio State, or just Tennessee to Ohio State. I mean, I feel like 9 times out of 10 they're taking Ohio State. Now
Ohio
I think
State
Tennessee.
is usually more
Okay.
up there. In
Maybe
it
that's
with
a bad
the-
example. Never mind. Whatever.
But
I don't think they're basing it off of not wanting to play one team once a year.
yeah, I mean, like,
I think it'd play factor.
If anything, I think that playing against them makes you want to go there more.
I think
you'd make
well,
like to the SEC.
Yes.
I
When you show out in the SEC, you get drafted high.
Yeah, but it's showing out. That's the issue.
yeah, well, like,
If you don't believe that you can show out, why are you even playing college?
Yeah.
football?
You have a point there. I'm just saying like what a philosophy would be.
I mean, I think
you do have a point there.
I totally get
Well,
what you're
in that
saying.
situation, I would tell the kid to focus on school.
Yeah, like, I'm totally get what you're saying. I feel like it's just more of a thing for
I mean,
college.
You
or
got to
for
think you're the
NFL.
best. I think.
Like, I think that's more for the NFL when they're trying to sign because I mean, for college,
Even
you only
then.
play. Well, college you only
NFL
play
is
twice,
different.
or college you only play people in your conference once. But NFL you play them twice, so you're playing them
That's
twice.
still
It's a
only
little bit
2
more.
games out of the year. I
Yeah.
really don't think that's a huge factor in teams' decisions.
Yeah,
My
I
only
mean,
difference with the NFL.
Not a huge. Now, when there's like a established dynasty in the NFL, especially since the
Like the
divisions
Chiefs.
are,
Like I mean,
I would not say the Chiefs. They're not a dynasty.
I
yet.
mean, Britt, he does have a point in
I'm
saying,
mostly
like,
just talking the Patriots.
I mean,
Like
yeah,
if you
that's
didn't,
what I was thinking
if you
too.
didn't want to go to the Bills because you didn't want to be in a division that you know you're going to lose for 20 years, I understand that. But in college, with so many teams in a conference and only playing them once, and
I feel like it's way more like
But
fluctuous. Like for the most
Alabama's
part,
coming out of the SEC nearly every year. Alabama and Georgia, those are the two like scariest teams. That's the
Well,
scariest
yeah.
school. So you're
that's why it shakes
okay,
it up.
okay, yeah. And then my point is like you're trying to avoid those two schools.
not
Like, by going to
necessarily.
SEC.
but it's
I-
also
that's how I
like
see
Performing well against them
That's
boosts,
true,
boosts
yeah.
you huge.
Yeah.
And here's the other thing I'll say.
But
You seem to kind of be writing off Alabama. Like, oh, they're just going to.
I don't think they're gonna drop off either. I mean, I'm just saying that they're gonna.
There
drop
could
a
be
little
some
bit.
drop off. And I know it's a different sport, but the best comparison I can think of for this is Coach K leaving Duke a few years ago. They're still elite.
Yeah,
I think they're
just not as good.
11th in the country right now. Like,
Mhm.
they're still a top tier team.
Are you sure?
I'm not sure. They're definitely top 15. I would
Well-
put $20 on them being 11.
I'm not gonna put $20 on
Although,
it.
you know,
Well-
although Saban is leaving, Alabama still has all of their facilities. They still have all their current players. They still have all
Yeah.
their other coaches. They still have all the money coming in because it's still Alabama football. So I don't think it's going to be that big of a blow. But I mean,
It's-
obviously,
and
it's
NIL
going to be
saves them.
interesting.
I mean,
It's-
the
It's going to
NIL
be
saves
interesting
them, but-
because Alabama is consistently getting really good recruits, and it's not like the NFL where one person leaves and the team might look totally different. Like, you know, the whole Tom Brady, Bill Belichick thing. People are like, oh, it was Brady. Look how bad Belichick has been. The whole team's terrible, right? At Alabama, assuming there's not huge losses in the transfer portal, the big difference is just going to be the coach. So I think we're going to get a pretty good look at what we're seeing in Saban. I mean, once this new coach comes in,
well, I mean, we see people
I
transfer.
also would not want to be the guy.
We see people.
I wouldn't either.
I would
Well,
not want to be the
how-
first
How
one.
I see it is like if I am I'm far from a 5-star athlete. If I'm a 5-star athlete, I'm a running back. I'm committed to Alabama, and my goal, like I'm just like, oh, I want to play for Nick Saban. That's my biggest dream in life. Then he retires. They're losing a ton of players
I
by that.
I wouldn't want to be the next coach.
No, I know.
Yeah.
No, well, I know that's I knew that's what you were saying. But my
Now
point
there are
is
some
why
positives to it. He'll probably get fired within 2 to 3 years, get a massive buyout, and he'll be set for life financially. But everyone will hate him.
Well, I agree with you. I was just saying that like this is why I think
Yeah.
Alabama will fall
No, I
off
know.
of it because they're going to lose.
If I'm a college coach who Alabama's looking at, I say no. I let them take their first guy. Oh,
And then go second.
and well, at the same time though, what if the guy does good and you just missed your chance at Alabama?
I mean,
I'd take that shot.
I'm assuming right now.
It's stressful. I'd take that shot.
Yeah.
I mean,
Who knows? Maybe someone from the NFL goes down.
one of the
That'd
things
be
that
a crazy thing.
I don't know who, but
one of the things that they were talking about was like Dabo Sweeney, like
I
having
doubt
him.
it.
But
Throw
like
Mike Vrabel at Alabama.
that'd be wild. There's
Mike-
no way.
Mike Vrabel, Bama.
Dude, there's
he'll
no
probably
way.
get an NFL job.
Yeah, no,
He's
he's
I don't
probably
think
going
that would
Chargers.
suck,
I'm
though.
assuming.
No, I don't think he's going to Chargers. I think Harbaugh might go to Chargers. I think Vrabel.
I still don't get it, man. If you're Harbaugh, why do you leave? Why would you
Well,
leave?
I talked
agree.
about this
I
off air.
agree.
There's a little bit of reasons why I would understand it. Like first, the NCAA is on him like a lot. I mean, I understand right now the president just said that Michigan won fair and square, but they're still investigating Michigan. They're still like on Harbaugh. He probably will get suspended for the first couple of games of this season just for the stuff that they said last year, which is pretty stupid, whether you believe it or not. Like he's still probably going to get suspended, and it's just a recurring thing. And as well, the only thing after winning a championship is either building a dynasty, which is extremely hard, or
Yeah.
falling off. So it's
I
kind
built
of
I built a dynasty on Retro Bowl pretty good.
Oh yeah, we're comparing.
But
Jim
why not
Harbaugh,
try to
comparing him-
build that dynasty? I mean, he's one of the most loved coaches by their school in the entire country. He's getting a fat paycheck,
Yeah, try.
I mean,
next Saban,
and they're
I agree.
really, really good. Like
I think it would kind of be one of those things like, leave all your head and then maybe, especially if Michigan's like, him and the NCAA are investigating him a lot and it's just causing a lot of trouble to him. Like, leave just while you're ahead, go to the NFL where they're not causing you as much trouble, and rebuild a team. And it's also kind of that competitiveness.
Well, that's
I just
hard
don't, I
too.
don't like that philosophy of
But-
leave while you're ahead, because then I'd always be questioning whether like I still
Yeah,
have
that's
more
true.
to give.
But I mean, for the NFL side,
I just went really deep.
No,
Jim
you're right,
Harbaugh,
though.
he's the type of person where he likes a challenge, and you've seen that with all the jobs he's taken before, where he takes a job to kind of rebuild them, where Michigan wasn't that great, and then he took the job, and then he built them up from the ground. 49ers were in a struggle. He built them up. Before that, what was the one school he went to? It was Stanford. He built them up.
It wasn't Stanford. It was San Diego.
He went to Stanford. He coached there.
I thought he coached at San Diego too. UC, he was 11-1. UC San Diego.
I don't remember what. It was probably that, and then he went to Stanford.
I do not remember at
But
Stanford.
He,
Did he actually go to Stanford?
yeah, he coached there.
What? No
But-
way.
I got it.
Also, you're right. Duke is 11.
But that's basically also why I would think he would go there, is because of that challenge. Where
Yeah,
if he,
for like 3 or 4 years.
if he
he was.
accepts that job as like the Chargers head coach, or even the Raiders, or even the Bears, or like, I don't know,
Not to mention,
Patriots?
by the way, he went to Michigan.
Yeah,
Like,
Like-
he's getting
How
paid.
cool of a feeling
He's
is
getting
that?
paid so much money to win a championship and be loved by his alma mater. Like
That's crazy.
I
yeah.
understand he's getting a little bit of stuff from the NCAA, but I just don't think it's enough to push me out of that job. It feels like the perfect situation
Seriously,
for him.
if I was like one of the best players in like Boise State football history, I went to the NFL, was all right, became a coach, and went back to Boise State and coached them to a national championship, I wouldn't leave.
where you
That's the
coach
best
them
feeling.
into a
and that's
7-6
Boise State.
season.
That ain't Michigan money.
Coach them into a 7-6 season.
I like Boise State. Yeah.
I know. I'm
Like
just saying that's
Indianapolis?
not Michigan money.
Well, it could be in the future.
It won't be.
Once I'm a 5-star quarterback. Once I walk on to the team next year.
Which that
Malachi
also,
Nelson, you better watch
Yeah,
out.
that also does mention Malachi Nelson.
Oh yeah.
Completely rebuilt Boise State into like single-handedly.
Let's go. I'm pumped.
He automatically, after transferring, became the highest recruit of all time at Boise State, which is wild. And yeah, we've also seen a little bit more. There's been a couple other transfers, like the Arkansas receiver. He
Indiana.
transferred Indiana.
Cam Camper. He's nice. I like him.
And so it looks like we'll have a completely new team, which would be nice. I mean, we'll obviously have Ashton.
I
which
mean,
is really
I
good.
think the best transfer, in my opinion, and it's not listed on here, and it was kind of a bit ago. I mean, besides Malachi Nelson.
I
love
tried to
Malachi
do
Nelson.
just like recent
No,
ones
you're
here.
good. Yeah, this one isn't recent, but I think that one that'll pay off the most is Dylan Gabriel to Oregon.
Oh yeah, that's a big one.
For who? Dylan Gabriel or Oregon?
I think both. I think Oregon's going to be good
both.
next year.
Yeah.
I'm sure they will be good. I don't think he's going to be as good as Bo Nix was.
Well,
Really?
yeah, I don't think so either.
I
No.
think I think Gabriel is a better
Dude, Bo
quarterback
Nix
than
just
Nick.
finished top 3 for Heisman and like broke the completion percentage record
right.
of all time.
I can't wait to come back to this. Dylan Gabriel Heisman next year.
Well, the thing with Dylan Gabriel,
Really?
Okay, let's come.
I
We'll
think
come
you'll-
back to this next year, or probably a year from right now. Try to find that in the logs. But Dylan Gabriel for Heisman next year at Oregon.
I mean, I agree. I think Dylan Gabriel in Oregon's going to go really well, especially because he kind of fills in to those spots where they really need it, because he filled into Oklahoma when they lost their coach, they lost their quarterback, and they were kind of screwed. And then he just filled in, and they did pretty good. And then now he's just filling in for Oregon because they're losing their quarterback. They've already kind of got that momentum. I think he'll do good. He'll probably be on the Heisman watch. I don't think he'll win it, and
Who
I
do
don't
you
think
think will
he'll
win it?
really be close.
Do you know yet? No,
I don't
know
really
we didn't, I know
sure.
we didn't really prepare for this.
I'm not
It's
really
kind
sure,
of a tangent.
but I think he'll do good. I just don't think he'll win it. I
Okay.
mean, he'll probably be in the talks.
I think Ewers will be in the talks as well if he has another good year.
Dark horse could be Will Howard.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't expect him to win it, but I wouldn't be surprised if he goes absolutely nuts at Ohio State.
yeah.
I don't know why, but
All right,
he
I'm
was the
throwing
transfer
this
from
one out
Kansas
there.
State.
Best possible situation. Malachi Nelson in that talk.
He won't be.
I know, but that's why I said best possible situation.
I mean,
Dude, you saw what Jainty did this year. He wasn't even a finalist for the running
Well,
back
the difference
award.
is we weren't
Yeah.
good this year.
We were conference champions.
Okay, we weren't ranked. Is my point. Like usually ranked teams, like the Heisman looks.
Usually like top 10 ranked teams.
Yeah.
Usually.
So next year, the 12 team.
we do play
the
Oregon.
The 12
I
team
mean-
playoffs. We play Oregon second game of the season.
I don't.
We play Oregon.
Do
Who's
we
our
still
other
do
con-
that?
I know our first one's
I
like.
thought they just canceled that.
Oh no,
No, I don't think
they
so.
moved it to Eugene.
Oh,
They
right.
didn't. We,
Yeah, because it was
so-
supposed to be a home for them, home for us, and now we're just playing them twice at their place.
Yeah.
But we get $1 million each time. So.
Yeah. So I mean,
and that Millie's funding Malachi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
So,
Probably
so-
just dropped that right in his bank account.
seriously.
yeah.
Yeah, some other notable departures. Cam Ward, the Washington State quarterback, declared for the draft. And I don't know how I feel about this one. This reminds me a lot of Jamie Newman, who's a quarterback a while ago. And the similarities are you're a quarterback who has a chance to transfer to a bigger school, boost your draft stock, get more ready for the NFL. And he's going in a year earlier than he probably should.
And probably the most stacked.
If you're
quarterback draft.
asking who Jamie Newman is, that's kind of my point. Cam Ward is electric. He's super fun to watch. He was great for Wazoo. It's really hard to tell how well he'll translate to the NFL game. And he could have had his pick of a lot of good schools to play his last year in college at to boost his stock. I hope it all works out for him. I love watching him play. It just feels to me like he could have used a year at a big school. I think he could have gotten Ohio State. I think he could have maybe gotten UW. I don't know if he would have gone from Wazoo to UW, but you get my point. He could have gone to a bigger school and, put his name out there more. And right now, it feels like he's a day 3 pick who
Probably
who,
won't do
who knows
anything.
when
I
he.
mean,
And here's the thing about day 3 picks is a lot of them are really good and we'll never know
yeah.
because they just don't get the opportunity. I'm sorry, it's the first example that came to mind, but there was a chance Purdy never saw the field.
Yeah.
2 quarterbacks got season-ending injuries in front of him, and that's how he got his first snap, and he was really good. So I don't know. Some day 3 guys I feel like are like that, like have the talent to produce on the NFL field, but they don't get the chance because of their draft stock.
Gosh, I wish Drew Bledsoe never got injured.
Why?
Because Tom Brady wouldn't have gotten a
Then
start.
Peyton
Just
Man-
want to completely erase the greatest of our sports
It's
history?
the greatest
Yes,
dynasty.
Peyton Manning would be there.
Fair enough. So Cam Ward, Walter Nolan, the number 1 overall rated transfer who's on D-line, goes from A&M to Ole Miss. Ole Miss did just lose their starting running back, which is a big deal. But Ole Miss is probably poised to be
Top.
I would
12.
assume that when the preseason poll comes out, they're top 10, maybe pushing top 5. They are going to be really good next year, I think. And they're at least
They were good this year. They just
They were.
Their losses were to Bama.
They had
Georgia, I
really
think.
good losses and a really good record. They're a team to watch next year. Will Rogers goes from Mississippi State to try to take over for Michael Penix. Good luck, because that's not all they're
Yeah.
losing. And then DJ
You say it. Say the last name. I want to try.
Uyunglele,
Oh,
Uyunglele,
I was gonna try Ugalali.
something like that. I think there's an N sound in there like Tua, even though there shouldn't be. But DJ going from Oregon State to Florida State, so
Pumped.
that's good for him.
It's
I
also
guess.
very off topic, but I was kind of thinking about this when you said it's a stacked class for quarterbacks. What if this draft class was complete busts? Everyone just busted out.
Yeah, Caleb Williams.
It's
what do you mean by that? Bro, we can't. Oh, I
That-
love that.
That
We
had to
can't
have
be
been
doing
intentional.
this.
That had to have been on
What do you
purpose.
mean? It's
We can't
perfectly,
keep
it's
doing
a
this.
perfectly right.
I
Oh my
assume you're
gosh.
saying that because people have been talking about the 2021 class.
Yeah.
Oh my
Where
goodness.
as of now, it's kind of
Just-
looking like 0 for 5.
Just imagine just all the quarterbacks just bust.
Bust out. I think Trevor Lawrence is a good quarterback, and I think he has potential to be really, really good. But
I don't think he's
as of
living
right
up to
now,
it.
he has not paid off
At
as a
all.
number 1 overall pick, I would say.
I agree. 1 playoff win.
Zach Wilson at 2, Trey Lance at 3. He's played like 5 games.
That's crazy.
Justin Fields at, what was it, 10, 12?
I
10,
think it was 10.
Maybe 11.
Something like
10
that.
to 12 range.
In Fields,
Who
I
knows what's going to happen with him, and that's something
Field-
we're going to be talking about a lot this
In
offseason.
Fields, I trust.
Oh, boy.
I did a bear. Well, me and him. Were
We
doing
did
it.
a Bears rebuild.
We did a Bears rebuild.
Someone won the Super Bowl by 50. Someone missed the playoffs 3 times.
I trusted in Justin Fields.
Yeah, I traded for Lamar.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You signed
Oh,
Lamar.
I signed
You
Lamar.
no, you drafted Arch Manning.
Who was cold.
Somehow became a 90 overall. Okay. The difference between mine and your rebuild. I know we're not going to talk about this for long, so this is my last thing I would say. The difference between mine and your rebuild that really made me mad is your draft was like 20 times better than mine.
I'm good at drafting.
Like your draft was crazy.
Yeah, you took a first-round running back who was normal development. But anyway,
That made me so mad.
anyway,
Bijan Robinson turned out to be bad. when I drafted him.
That's true.
It's a Madden behind.
That's
by the way.
about all we have for college football, I believe.
That's a good tangent to the NFL, I'd say.
Yeah, well, on to the NFL,
on
where the playoffs are officially set.
Yeah.
Woo!
After 18 very, very, very quick weeks, we are already here at the playoffs.
Man.
And the standings are as follows. In the NFC, it's Niners, Cowboys, Lions, Bucks, Eagles, Rams, Packers. A couple of us were on Rams and Packers pretty early, just tossing that out there. And then
That was me, right?
You were on Rams, yeah.
And Packers. I think that one week I said
I
Packers.
think that one week we both had Rams, Packers
And
in the
then I
playoffs.
switched
And you
it.
had Packers in, too.
I switched it.
I had Packers
Hey,
Bucks.
We knew.
Sports and stuff
I definitely
knows.
had Bucks.
Sports and stuff
I've been a Baker lover this year.
Mhm,
But
me too.
and then in the AFC, it's Ravens, Bills, Chiefs, Texans, Browns, Dolphins, Steelers.
And Broncos.
Not Broncos because they benched him for Jared Stidham. Anyway,
Sean Payton's correct, by the way.
Sean Payton's not.
We will talk about this
Yeah, we will.
another week once the NFL playoffs are over, but I'm going to go to a huge rant.
But yeah, the 7 seeds are set. The big games in the last week, the biggest one was Bills-Dolphins, as the Bills going into the week had a chance to miss the playoffs or be the 2. They're the 2. They
That's
managed to pull
wild.
it out against Miami off a game-winning drive interception.
From Tua.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Dot.
Well, I mean, he's thrown to double-covered Chase Claypool. I don't know what you expect to happen there. I really don't,
It
man.
kinda
I'm
def-
sorry.
It kind of deflated the moment of the game that the Jaguars just stunk up the place against the Titans, because after that loss, both teams are going to make it. So it kind
It still matters
it
quite
still,
a bit.
It still mattered quite a bit because now they're playing the Steelers
The
when they
Bills-
would have played the
The
Chiefs.
Bills, as long as they beat the Steelers, are guaranteed 2 home playoff games. The Dolphins aren't going to get one.
Yeah. Like,
So it's a pretty big deal,
Hey,
I'd
unless
say.
the Steelers pull one out.
Especially when you consider
Right.
that the Dolphins have lost their last 21 games under 40 degrees.
man, that's
and
wild.
and their one win, I don't know their exact record, but they've only beat one team above 500 too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
How
was
I
the
see
Cowboys.
I think it was 1 and
I
5.
believe.
You know,
I think they're 1 and 5.
I'll talk about that when we go over.
Okay,
But-
so before we get into this, do you want to go the NFC side?
What do you
List
mean?
that off. Did we list that off already?
What do you mean?
Well, I listed
Yeah,
the
he listed
standings.
it.
Oh, okay.
Why are you so
What
unorganized?
what team do you think is gonna be a surprising team, just in general? Like before we even go into like who we're picking?
Surprisingly well,
Yeah,
Eagles.
Eagles.
For me, the Rams.
For me, I'm gonna say the Dolphins. Like I know everyone's clowning on the Dolphins, but I think
Dude, I
everyone's
picked the
counting them out.
Eagles.
I mean, yeah, that's true.
But
Alright.
I'll give you my reasoning for. Actually, I'll do that when I make the picks.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was gonna do the same thing.
So I'll go. We'll go wild card round first, all the way
Yeah.
through. So in the AFC, I have Bills over Steelers, Chiefs over Dolphins, and I have the Texans over the Browns. I think they pull it out at home. Shout out D'Amico Ryans. And in the NFC, I got Cowboys over Packers. I'm actually going to change this one. I'm going Lions over Rams. I've been going back and forth on that one, but I'm going to stick with the Lions. And then Eagles over Buccaneers.
Okay.
By the way, that switch messes up your divisional round. Are you gonna correct that?
Okay. So for me, for the AFC side, I have the Texans beating. Who are they playing? The Browns. I think that's a simple one. I haven't really bought.
You don't
into
think that?
the-
You think that's simple?
I wouldn't
I-
say it's simple. That was like a
that's
hot
probably
take for
that's
me.
probably the best game.
I-
of the,
That
I
was
think
like
I
my
haven't-
upset pick.
I'd argue that's
Really?
the best game of the. Yeah,
I have
The
not.
best?
I'd argue is one of the. I think
I
it'll
feel
be
like
one
Chiefs
of the.
Dolphins.
I
Or
think
no, Rams Lions. It's Rams
Chiefs
Lions.
Dolphins just gonna Rams Lions. Yeah,
It's
I'll give you that
Rams
one.
Lions.
But Chiefs Lions just gonna be a ton of running. It's
I
just gonna
think the
be Pacheco
Browns
versus
are
Raheem
one of the
Mostert.
biggest frauds in this
Pacheco.
playoff.
Who?
Browns.
I think the Browns are one of the biggest frauds.
I completely disagree. As I was saying before the camera decided to die on us again, I completely disagree.
we were already here. It didn't die. It doesn't die.
Okay, could you let me transition? Let
No.
us do a transition.
No.
As I
Anyway.
was saying, that I completely disagree. I believe the Browns. Gosh, what was your take you said again?
He said the
I said the-
Texans are easy over the Browns.
Thank you.
Well,
All right, I completely
I think the
disagree.
Browns are the biggest frauds.
I
The
disagree.
Browns.
I think the
The Browns.
Do you know that flight video? Flight reacts where he just goes like, LeBron!
Yeah, I gotta.
I love flight. Anyway, make your picks.
sorry.
Nick Chubb.
All right. My
Do you remember
my
that?
no, but nor do I want to get into it. My picks. I got Bills over Steelers, pretty easy one. I got Dolphins over Chiefs. I just think the Dolphins have got a better run game than the Chiefs, and I think that's what it's going to come down to with that weather.
What about the
And
defense?
I think Mahomes. What was that?
I was just saying, like run game. What about the defense?
Yeah, I think the. Oh wait, what?
What about the defense?
The Dolphins defense?
Yeah, what about the defenses?
Oh, I understand what you're saying. Chiefs do. I think Chiefs have a way better defense than the Dolphins, but I still think
know.
the Dolphins' offense is better than the Chiefs' defense. So I think that's going to overpower that. But sorry, the question confused me. Yeah. Then I got Browns over Texans. Leading back to the Dolphins over Chiefs. The only way the Chiefs have a chance, realistically, I don't want to sound like a whiner when it comes to the AFC West teams, but the Chiefs will get the refs to help them.
All right, dude. They have the most talented quarterback ever. The refs are not their only chance.
Yeah, I know.
They also have an elite defense.
Nope, I will. Okay, defense I'll give you.
Elite defense, good running back, elite quarterback.
Like a 5-year-old.
They have more chances than flags.
As I was saying, I think the refs will play a big part in that game. Sorry, I like to, whatever. Then I got Cowboys over Packers. I got Rams over Lions. Then I got Buccaneers over Eagles. It's gonna be a nice little Baker Mayfield legacy game.
That'd be dope.
I know. I'm pumped
right.
for that.
On
Sorry.
my
Okay,
divisional,
you go.
we're just going. Anyway, I got Ravens over the Texans in the divisional round. I don't think we see a 2019 repeat of what happened.
That would be wild.
I wouldn't hate it, but it won't happen. And then Bills Chiefs. I'm going to take the Bills to win in Buffalo, actually. So. And then in the NFC, I have to switch it up a little bit. So it's going to be Cowboys versus Lions. I think the Lions get them back and move on to the NFC
I think the
Championship.
Lions should have won that first game.
And then Niners, Eagles. Originally, I had Rams over Lions, and I had the Eagles upsetting the Cowboys to go to the championship. But I got Niners over Eagles to set up a Niners-Lions NFC Championship.
Awesome. For my divisional round, so I have the Bills versus the Texans. I kind of wanted to pick the Texans, I'm not going to lie, but I picked the Bills. And then I have Finns over Ravens. I talked about this before. I just have a bad feeling about the Ravens. I think they're really hyped up, and I just don't think they're going to live up to it. I kind of especially just reminded of it was Lamar's MVP year when everyone thought they were going to do really well in the playoffs, and then they stunk up the joint against the Texans. Or the Titans. But
What this all translates to is he hates Lamar Jackson.
that is true. I'm a certified Lamar Jacksonator, so
That's great. I don't understand how you hate him.
But bye in the divisional round.
He's literally the quietest quarterback in the NFL. He's silently the best quarterback in the NFL. Like,
anyways,
okay, fine. Purdy's the best quarterback in the NFL.
That's not what I was saying.
Who do you think is?
Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
I hate Mahomes.
I know you do, but
I
that
hate
doesn't
Mahomes
make
so
him
much.
not the best.
yeah,
I
I
hate
know.
Mahomes so much.
Lamar's my two, though.
Anyways, for the NFC side, I have the Niners over the Rams. Unfortunately, I hate this. Playoffs. This is like the worst.
Why? You guys made it.
I know, but I hate just the teams that win.
God, I hope the
I
Packers
just hate
win.
I just hate the Niners.
I hope the Packers win.
We were talking about this beforehand, so I was
That'd be
saying
awesome.
where I
That would be
really
awesome.
wanted the Packers to beat the Cowboys, which I think they have a solid chance if they get up to a good start of the game. If they get off to a good start, then they'll probably win that game. If they let the Cowboys roll over them, which is also a valid possibility at the beginning of the game, they're screwed. But if they win, they would play the Niners in the second round, which we know with the show how that's going to end up. It's going to end up
No,
with
we
me.
don't, because you didn't post the video.
All I know is
That's true.
that if the Packers find a way to play the Niners, and then let's just say in some awesome world, the Packers beat the Niners, he's probably going to have to leave the show by how much crap I'm going to talk to him. I'm never going to give it up.
Your team missed the playoffs again. They have not made it since 2015.
Yeah, but as I was saying, this is going to end in me in a 49ers uniform on the show if the Packers win this game. So I'm just picking against them, although I am rocking the Packers for today. But I have the Niners over the Rams, and then I have Cowboys over Bucks. So that leads.
You didn't take a single upset. I just realized.
So what?
I
So
know, that's interesting.
Some of the non-upsets are upsets. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess.
Like Texans over Browns.
I don't know why I got
Browns.
offended. I don't know why. LeBron! Sorry. I don't know why I got offended.
All
by
right,
that.
make your picks.
I usually get offended
Make
when
your
like
picks.
March Madness, like whenever like someone like
Well,
makes
March
a
Madness
bracket.
is different.
So that's I don't know why I just got so offended with no. Sorry. All right, my divisional round, I got Ravens over Dolphins, and then the Bills over Browns. Ravens are playing like the best team in the NFL. The Bills are the hottest team in the NFL. So I'm excited for that AFC conference. I can't think what it's
So
called.
what's your divisional?
Yeah, I have 9. You keep scrolling. Yeah, I got Ravens over Dolphins, Bills over Browns. So that's gonna be in the AFC, and then the NFC, Cowboys over Bucks. And here's my fun one. I got the Rams over the Niners. I think Sean McVay is a Super Bowl winning coach. Unlike Shanahan, I think he's going to outcoach that game. The Rams offense looks amazing, and I am excited.
In their entire time against each other, he has never outcoached Shanahan. But
The Rams
who knows?
have
Maybe
kind
it'll
of
happen.
gotten.
You're right. That drop pick kind of killed them.
I mean,
I'm aware.
the Rams like to lose to the
It wasn't even the
49ers
drop pick, man. It
in
was
the
Jimmy
regular
G.
season, but when it comes to the playoffs, it's kind of,
It was one game.
That was,
There's not like a pattern.
that was a
here.
wild game.
There was
That
one game.
was probably the craziest playoffs I've ever seen in
They
my life.
also had a significantly better roster than they do now, and we had a
Yeah.
worse one.
Yeah, well, yes and no.
Like the teams couldn't be more different.
I think the Rams' run game's better now. I mean, it used to be that year was C.J. Anderson and was it Sonny Michel?
I don't know, they had a revolving
one
door.
thing
but
But I
I
think it was
keep
C.J.
on-
Anderson that was the running back during that thing. Now they got Kyron Williams, who's a stud.
he is.
Now they got a wide receiver too. I think
Puka Nacua
Puka
is
is
the biggest
way
one.
better than Robert Woods.
Are you
was that
gonna
year.
Are you gonna try to tell me this Rams team is better than the Super Bowl team?
I am trying to say their offense is better than his defense.
No, they weren't.
I think their offense is better though.
No.
Just because Cooper Kupp
I
is playing
think
a
so,
little
too.
underutilized. I think the
I-
offense is better.
I kind
A
of agree
little
with them.
under.
I think
He's not even close to the receiver
I
he
think
was then.
Well,
Cooper
yeah, but that's
Kupp and
part
Puka
production,
Nacua
too.
and Kyron Williams playing
Puka's
as like
taking
he
a lot of the
is
production.
wild.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, so I think Cooper Kupp it's just laying a load off.
bro.
We'll see.
I think well,
my word.
that was the
choice
reason
is
We'll
why I
see.
wild.
think
Two
the-
teams that look drastically different 3 years ago played, so now they
that's
lost.
why I picked the Rams over the Lions in the beginning.
Darn.
Was because of the Rams offense. Like Puka
Yeah,
Nacua
that's
was
what
the
that's what I'm
biggest X
choosing, too.
factor.
The
in
Lions
my-
have a
in my
better
opinion.
offense.
I don't think he's the biggest X factor. I think it's Stafford. I think Stafford is the best quarterback in that game by far, and I think Stafford's going to
Why
kill
would
it.
you wait? Why would you pick a team over another team because of offense when they have the worst offense of the two?
Rams?
I doubt,
They have a
I
worse
don't think
offense
so.
than the
No,
Lions.
they do have a worse offense
I
than the
don't.
Lions. Or
I
not
think
Lions.
the Rams have a
the
way
Niners.
more.
Well, both.
Well, no, I think the Rams have a way more
Lions,
explosive than the
just
Rams.
got okay.
Lions.
Statistically, yes, Lions are better, but I think in the playoffs the Rams will be better.
But what? But on paper, the Lions are probably better too.
I think the last. Well, I kind of want to do the math.
You
want
want
to
to talk about running game?
The Lions.
The
are-
Lions.
Yeah.
Anyway,
And the Niners do, but still, Rams are fun.
a little bit. The conference championships. I am going to change my AFC one actually. I had Bills over Ravens because I didn't want to be super basic, but everyone. My
No
bad.
upsets.
Give me the Ravens, and give me the Niners over. Who did I say?
Cowboys, I think.
Lions.
Lions, you're right.
Niners over Lions, Ravens over Bills to set up the Super Bowl. And I mean, I'm already here. I'll take Niners over Ravens,
All right, for me,
which is what I had
Who would be your
preseason.
MVP?
Which is what I had preseason.
Niners Ravens.
Mhm.
Do you have?
Who's your?
I've been
Who's that,
saying it all year.
who's that Super Bowl MVP?
Well,
I mean,
Purdy.
I would assume they give it to our most valuable player, which would be Brock
Christian
Purdy.
McCaffrey.
Which would be Brock Purdy. Christian McCaffrey's our best player. He's not our most valuable.
you know, going back to my playoff predictions from the beginning of the season, I had the Chargers winning it all. They
Again,
didn't even make the
for like the
playoffs
fourth
again.
year in a row.
No, I think
You're
I
just
changed
gonna
it.
you're just gonna keep doing it
I think
until
I think I
until
did
it
change
happens.
it because I think I picked the Bills actually. No, I don't. Well, I'll put up whatever I picked right here. It was something because I don't
Could you
think I
put
picked
up
the
what?
Chargers.
Could you put what I picked right here?
You didn't even do anything.
I
You
don't
weren't
know.
even here for
That
that
was the
beginning of the
joke. That was
season.
the joke.
Anyway, your
Nothing.
pick is
That was the joke.
So
Carter's
for
losing
mine,
patience.
yes, quickly.
for mine, I have Niners over the Cowboys, and then I have Bills over the Dolphins. I think the Bills get them again. And then I have the Bills over the 49ers. Like I said at the beginning of the playoffs, I think everyone counted out the Bills, and I think they're going to sneak in.
Ooh.
You know? Well, I think everyone was like saying, oh, this is a down year for the Bills because every other year was
Bro,
like,
I've had him at 3
Super
for
Bowl.
like a month.
I mean, most
I'm
people
all in on
most people have hated the Bills this year.
Well, it's funny because
Like-
I was one of the biggest Bills haters, and then now for my Super Bowl champion, I have the Bills beating the Rams in the Super Bowl.
All right, well, we got that out of the way
Yep.
quickly.
See?
So we both had 2 Bills and then 1 49er, which is surprising because there's 1
oh, you got
49er
Bills
shown,
winning
so.
too?
What am I
I had the
supposed to
Bills.
not pick my team?
Yeah,
Who's the
that's true.
1 seed?
Well,
Fine,
you know what? I
I'm
did
changing
What
that.
am I
mine.
supposed to do?
I did that for 2 years in a row.
I have the
we'll
Rams
see how
beating
that
the
went.
I have the Rams beating the Broncos in the Super Bowl.
Rams beating the Broncos. Woo! How fun.
Okay.
The Rams are going to get back, or the Broncos, just by random means, are going to overturn a game. And
I
they're
actually
gonna
had
That's
get
a
the only
playoffs.
way they can
Look,
make the
I
playoffs
dead
this
serious.
decade.
Do you want to hear something wild? I had a dream the other night. I don't know. It was a really, really, really weird dream. But I look on the TV and it was the Super Bowl, and I was like, "Wait, Dad, is that the Broncos?" And he's like, "Yeah." But they were losing
made
like
it.
42-17 to the Saints. The Saints won the Super Bowl in my dream.
Still wouldn't be their biggest Super Bowl loss.
And you know who
Both-
starting
yeah.
that quarterback was? Jared Stidham. So next year,
Actually, wouldn't even be their second biggest Super
Next-
Bowl loss.
that's true. Next year, Super Bowl prediction: the Saints
Broncos.
are beating the Broncos. I don't know
with
this.
Jarrett Stidham at quarterback.
Maybe that one was a fluke.
Saints
I
beat
mean,
the Broncos by 25, which I will remind you again is only their third biggest Super Bowl loss.
Woo.
that's crazy.
That is crazy.
Dubs.
The two biggest
That's
ever, I
crazy.
believe, are Broncos losses.
Yeah. Have you ever seen the Niners win a Super Bowl?
No, I haven't. Have you seen your team do anything in the last 8 years?
Yeah, we got Sean Payton.
Sorry, anything good?
yeah, we benched Russell Wilson.
Again, anything good?
Yeah.
Like one.
Okay.
Payton.
You drafted Sertan?
That's the
That's-
that and
Yeah,
Justin
you made one
Simmons-
good draft pick
that-
in 8 years.
that-
Good job.
that and Justin Simmons are the only two things.
Hey, you
he's
gave
done that are
$90
good.
million to Mike McClatchy.
Moving.
I don't know why
I
we
told
did
you.
that.
I told you.
I know
man.
you told me. And I
Anyways.
was sitting there like, this is what are we doing?
Moving on. Now that we finished the playoffs, we have all the coaches moving around. So we have 4 that were named, 3 that we mentioned, 2 that were not a surprise: Arthur Smith and Ron Rivera. Those guys couldn't get out the door any sooner, I believe. And then we have the surprising ones, starting with Mike Vrabel and then Pete Carroll, which was today. What do you make of those 2?
So the Mike Vrabel one, to me, correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't Pete Carroll just retire, or did he? No. He stepped down. He's
They
like an
worded it weird.
advisor.
They're moving him to.
He's an
the-
advisor now.
Yeah.
So
But-
he technically didn't get fired. Yeah. Okay. You can make the argument.
He
did.
didn't do that on
But-
his own, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
They were
I'm just gonna say he moved himself down. But when it comes to Vrabel, that one really confused me because I've always like supported the Titans. I mean, I'm a Broncos fan. I mean, the Bills and Titans have always been kind of like tied at 2 just because I used to go to a lot of those games. And from what I know, like Vrabel was like the coolest guy. Like the players loved him. The players loved fighting for him. And this year, that Titans roster is probably one of the worst rosters in the NFL. And I'm not saying he got a good record out of it. I'm just saying like you can't blame the coach for that.
Well, yeah.
What I will say is Vrabel over the years with Tennessee has consistently outperformed the talent on the roster.
Yeah, exactly.
The Titans really throughout his whole stint have been better in real life than they are on paper.
They brought the Titans to a 1 seed.
And I'd have to imagine that a lot of that's coaching.
Yeah, to
Yeah.
a 1 seed and an AFC championship.
Mhm.
Well, and
Tur-
he,
A double-digit lead in
And,
an AFC
and
championship.
the only like top player they had on those teams was Derrick Henry.
Well, I don't know about that.
I
but
mean,
Derrick
Derrick Henry's
Henry?
leaving.
Who
I would
else? Actually, I'd make that
A.J.
Taylor
Brown.
Lewan. AJ Brown was not top when he was on the Titans, though.
that's not true.
Yeah.
When he was on the
top.
Titans, he was not.
He was still
He was,
he was
good.
very
Don't get me
elite.
wrong,
he was
but
still great.
Yeah.
Kevin Byard,
Kevin Byard's fine. That's a good one.
fine, right? Anyway,
I think those 3 though. Kevin Byard, Taylor Lewan, Derrick Henry.
but never really a long-term
MVP,
solution at
Ryan
quarterback.
Tannehill.
Never anything like that, and he consistently outperformed what they probably should have done.
He
So
took
I
down
don't-
that Ravens. He
I don't get it.
Ended Tom Brady's stint with the Patriots, took down a really strong Ravens team, and competed with the beginning of that Chiefs dynasty team.
Not a dynasty.
Like Chiefs crazy good
I mean,
team. I don't know how you want me to word
The
that.
only reason that would make sense for them to fire him would be like, they already knew they screwed up the roster, so it's just best to
Blowed up.
blow the whole thing up.
Well, yeah, and Derrick Henry's leaving, so
Yeah.
maybe you're right because Vrabel is a
But
big
you'd rather go into a rebuild with a coach you don't know is good?
exactly.
I mean, but that's the thing is we saw that with the Texans. Like the Texans, they
I think-
blew up their whole thing, and then they hired D'Amico Ryan.
I would not
and
go in the Texans
he
route. I'm
went
not gonna because I'm
great.
okay. Luck is a bad word for it, but they got the best quarterback in the draft by far, and arguably the talented rookie quarterback we've seen in years, and the best head coach in that class. I'm not gonna say it's luck. Good on them for finding that, but that every other team
They
should
also
not
got a
follow them.
top 3 defender out of the class.
and that too.
Well,
but they
so
should
far.
not. They
So
should
far.
not. He's gonna be
I
But
would say he's
Let's
been
talk
top
about
3
Tank
so
Dell,
far.
which
Definitely in
blew
the
up, like-
conversation.
Tank Dell and Nico Collins.
Yeah, like,
But
I mean,
I'm just saying, it's just phenomenal
That's just-
front office.
yeah.
But
So,
phenomenal front office. But my point is, other teams should not try to follow the Texans thing because
Why?
the Texans.
I mean, they
the
hired a great
Texans-
coach, so why wouldn't they follow that? They hired a great coach.
Everyone thinks their coach that when they hire him is going to be great. I thought
Mm.
Nathaniel Hackett was going to be great.
Well,
Did you think Nathaniel Hackett was going to be good on the Broncos?
No,
You're a Packers fan. You didn't think he was going to be good on the Broncos?
no. I didn't think he was going to be that good. I thought it was Matt LaFleur. I didn't think it was Nathaniel Hackett at all.
Hmm.
Which
that's what it looks like.
looks like it. I mean,
Where's Hackett now? Jets?
yeah.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah, Jets offense.
Yeah. But if you're looking through, actually, I wanted to talk about Pete Carroll a little bit first. Everyone's happy about the Arthur Smith thing, except for Arthur Smith.
I thought he just looked way more goofy that he shaved his mustache.
Dude,
That's
he's
completely
just,
off topic, but
he just
oh wow.
Shout out Jameis Winston for
just
breaking his
the
spirit.
underutilization of assets. It was
Yeah.
just really apparent every week. But anyway, Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll's a guy who's been with Seattle, I believe, 14 years now, something like that. And he's had a lot of success, a lot of playoff games, a Super Bowl win, another Super Bowl appearance.
We
The
don't talk
last-
about that Super Bowl win.
The last 7 years, only their second biggest Super Bowl loss of all time, by the way. The last 7 years
Wait,
have
which one
been.
was their first?
Oh, it was either the Niners. It was one of the Niners Cowboys, like a powerhouse.
It was
team.
us, 55-10.
It was it was the Niners.
Anyway.
it was a powerhouse game.
The last 7 years compared to the first 7 are a much different story for Pete Carroll. And it's hard to know what of that to put on him because obviously when you lose the Legion of Boom, you're going to be worse. Like that's
Yeah.
just going to happen. But I don't know. There was all the drama with Schneider, Carroll, and Russ butting heads or whatever it was. I don't know if we're ever really going to know what was going on there. They haven't had as much success recently. They've missed, I guess they made the playoffs last year, got smoked in the first round, missed it this year, missed it again pretty recently. I kind of understand it. Now, I don't know who you're going to replace him with.
Like Vrabel.
I don't think
Doubt it.
Vrabel would work well in the Seahawks.
Yeah, me
I
neither.
just,
They're-
I don't know what they're.
Though, you said me neither, but you were the
I
one
know,
who
but he would
proposed
be the
that.
best candidate.
Here's an interesting thing to me is they stuck with Pete Carroll on the decline. And
Yeah.
that seems like the natural time to fire him is on the decline or at rock bottom. But now that they're kind of showing hope again and they're acquiring good young talent and things like that, now they fire
They're
him.
just in my opinion, they're a young quarterback away.
I wouldn't say that yet.
You not yet?
I mean, Kenneth
They-
Walker
they-
is
dude,
really good.
They couldn't
DK.
They couldn't stop me running the football.
That's true.
That's true.
That's an exaggeration, but the run defense is horrible. And a lot of the acquisitions, not a lot, but a few of the acquisitions were worse this year than last year. I mean, Jamal Adams might as well be off the team already.
Yeah.
Tariq Woolen had a much worse year this year.
Quandre
Devon
Diggs.
Witherspoon though.
Quandre Diggs
good.
wasn't as good this year, not even close. Bobby Wagner just continues to decline.
He led the league in tackles.
I know,
I think
but
it's a stupid stat.
He's still like
It's
I think
listen.
I think
There's
I
something
think
to be
tackle-
said for that, and he
Yeah.
is a good tackler.
Blake Martinez led the
But
league
he's a
in-
free 12 yards
tackles.
over the middle.
No,
He couldn't cover
He's
anything.
a free 12 yards.
Yeah.
Blake Martinez, yes.
Yeah, like-
Bobby Wagner right now is playing a lot like peak Blake Martinez.
Yeah.
So
But
apparently that's Pro Bowl worthy. But
I mean, we already knew when the
He made the Pro Bowl.
Bobby
did.
Wagner did.
Blake Martinez
know.
did too when he led the league.
Yeah.
But I think we already knew when they signed Geno, they were signing themselves to mediocrity. And I think with this move, they're like, you know, we're done with
Almost.
being mediocre. And I think that's what they kind of seen is they've been in that like mid
Well,
range.
there's a lot more moves that need to be made.
I think they didn't.
think so,
number
too.
one is
I
a
think-
quarterback.
well,
What do
yeah,
you?
I
this is
think
the-
that,
I think this is the first
You
move
can't
of
get
many.
out of mediocrity without a good quarterback.
you're right, and that's my
Yeah.
point.
At least not without an elite roster, which they don't have.
But they're on their
So
way
what do-
to an elite roster.
that's
so
why-
that was when you get
Maybe.
the rookie.
They got a long
you
way
get
to
the
go.
rookie. You let the rookie go through growing
What
pains.
rookie?
What pick do they have? 16.
Well, that's why I think they're going to make a big move because
Ish.
this was a big move. From them.
If teams pass on Penix, if he falls,
Dude, as a Niners fan, I will throw a party for a week straight if
I
they
hate
take
Penix.
Penix in the first round.
I just don't want the Broncos to take Penix either.
I don't.
I don't want.
I think Penix probably will go
Jake
first
Daniels
round.
slips to
I
him.
absolutely don't think he should.
I agree.
I understand he can make NFL throws. I also understand that he is like going to be 24 years old a month after the draft, I believe,
Yeah.
and has had several major injuries.
Well, you know something that's interesting.
It's hard to put a first round grade on a guy like that,
You know what's-
especially when he actually. I'm not gonna say that. Never mind.
What if Russ
Cut that
went
out.
back to the Seahawks?
Why?
You know, Pete Carroll's gone.
That doesn't make sense for either.
Pete
of
Carroll's
them.
gone. They get a new coach.
It,
I love them.
couldn't make less sense for either side.
The script,
That'd be so
the
wild.
script writers got bored.
Yeah,
I
they're like,
guess.
this was a bad move. Write him back
But
in.
you were mentioning Penix and how he's 20. He's going to be 24 when he gets drafted, and I'd agree. Penix is not a first round draft grade like these guys are giving him. I mean, he went off against Texas. He looked really. I'm gonna word it as scared against Michigan. Whenever he get a
he
little
played
bit
a
pressured.
horrendous secondary and absolutely torched him. To his credit, he made a lot of great
Yeah.
throws,
Dude, I would
and then he played the best defense in the country, and it looked like it.
Yeah.
take
He
JJ
couldn't
hit it.
McCarthy over
Couldn't
him.
hit it.
Not gonna lie.
It's a bad take. I don't like McCarthy.
I disagree with that too. But
the quarterback that surprises me that I've been seeing
McCarthy's a future Patriots slot receiver. Maybe not that bad, but like
Sorry, that was funny.
I don't know.
But the quarterback that I'm surprised is getting first round draft grades. I've seen a ton of first round draft grades on him. Why is Bo Nix going in the
I
first
don't know.
round?
I don't know.
Like that's
I
something
really
that's
don't know.
Crazy.
He's the same age as Penix and was good for less time, and
so Penix
and was just significantly less impressive this year.
Penix, like I'm not gonna hate on too much. I've hated on him a lot, and my girlfriend's a big UW fan, and she loves Penix, so I gotta like try to chill on that. But
God, we're letting her dictate your takes
Sib.
now.
but I'm not letting her dictate. I'm not letting her dictate my dictate
Dude, he said the
dictate my take.
There you
Sorry, that
go.
was a tongue twister. I'm not letting her say that. I just don't want to keep saying like I don't like. I do not like. This sounds so jacked up. I do not like you, Michael Penix. That sounds so jacked up.
Dude,
But
I don't know.
I'm not scared of that.
I would definitely put him above Bo Nix on a draft
I
board,
think
for
Hartman
sure.
should be above all three of those guys they've said. JJ McCarthy, Bo Nix, and Michael Penix. I think
Hartman,
Sam
man.
Hartman. I'm so serious. I think Sam Hartman should be
Oh,
higher
I
than that.
disagree. I disagree.
I think Sam Hartman should be higher than those. I mean,
Why?
obviously top three is Jaden Daniels, Drake May. All right, that's out of order, but Jaden Daniels, Drake May, and Caleb Williams. I think Sam Hartman. Am I forgetting a fourth?
Dude, I'll take Cam Ward before I take Sam Hartman.
That's a wild take.
Do you even know who Cam Ward is?
Yeah, the guy who's Wazoo.
Did you know him before I talked about
No.
him today? Yeah,
I don't
okay.
watch Washington
That's
State.
what I
football.
thought. Anyway, so
I do know that guy. No, I actually do know him. I swear.
congrats.
Yeah.
The current open vacancies for head coach in the NFL, there's 7, are Seahawks, Falcons, Titans, Chargers, Raiders, Commies, and Panthers. And I'm curious what you guys think, like if you have any ideas for who could go where, but mostly what jobs are the most attractive and what jobs are the least attractive if you were a coach?
I think the most attractive to me is the Falcons. That's
Really?
That's fair.
if I'm a coach, I think the Falcons.
I think
is-
that's
Why?
one of them.
If I think the
They got a
Falcons
lot of
are going to
talent.
take. I think the Falcons are going to take a. I don't know if it's going to be a good choice or a bad choice yet. I have to see who it is, but I think they're going to take an offensive coordinator on a powerhouse offense team that's in the playoffs right now. I can't.
Ben Johnson?
Sure, but he's Eagles, right? No.
No, Lions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever.
He's
I
their
don't know
offensive coordinator.
coordinators well.
He's going to
But
be
I think that's what
Ben
Falcons.
Johnson will be a head coach.
Okay,
I don't know for
my-
what team, but he will be.
My opinion is though I think Falcons are the team I'd want to coach the most. Team I'd least want to coach is tied between the Commies and the Titans.
See, I was going to say Commanders are one of the teams. I'd say they're in the top half of that list.
You think?
What's their pick?
Why? Wait, why though? Oh, they're the number
mean-
3 pick.
I mean,
Just because the
I
number
thought they
3
were
pick.
2. I think they're 2.
It goes. You're right. They are 2. They are 2.
That's a
That's
big
what would
deal.
make it interesting.
You're right. You're right. And you do have a point there. However, besides that number 2 pick, you just don't have a lot of assets. You're playing the worst. I think this plays a big part in it. You have the worst stadium and a pretty crappy fan base too.
You can build it.
that
fair.
plays a
It's a challenge.
challenge.
Why the fan base?
I don't know. I just want to throw a shot.
Through shade.
You're right.
Listen,
I kind of realized I kind of
I
did
mean,
throw
The
a shot.
Commanders Stadium is terrible. I understand, but
And
they
their
do
ownership.
have
Okay, how about this?
they
Their
have some
ownership.
talent on their roster. They have the number 2 pick, and there's new ownership. Isn't there?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Like 99%.
I feel like I live under a
I'm pretty
rock
sure.
sometimes.
Yeah, because he had to sell it. Dan Snyder? Didn't he sell it?
I didn't know
Yeah.
Dan Snyder sold it.
So
I thought
I would
Linden-
I would agree. I would say the Commanders are one of the most desirable ones. Also the Chargers. I mean, you have Justin Herbert.
That's true.
think that would be a good
Chargers,
one.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a
But-
group. It's a group of owners.
But
Wait,
it's
whoa.
also like knowing coaches and knowing their patterns. They always like to draft their own quarterbacks.
I noticed. Sorry, I noticed you
Not
put the Raiders up there.
always.
I
The
know,
Raiders
but
are
that's
keeping,
like-
are keeping AP.
You like to pick your guy.
Is it confirmed?
No, but they're gonna keep Antonio Pierce.
That's what everyone thought about Bisaccia.
I did.
Yeah.
They're gonna keep Antonio Pierce.
If-
Ron
The Raiders are
Rivera-
known
think
for
they
making
should.
bad moves.
I don't
I
think.
mean-
I don't think Rivera's gonna stay coaching.
If an NFL
think
team
Rivera
hires
is.
Ron Rivera as their head coach this offseason, they deserve everything that's
They'll
coming.
probably go
I mean,
DC somewhere.
Dan Quinn's probably going to go somewhere. I
Dan
could see
Dan
the
Quinn,
Seahawks.
I would very much see Seahawks head coach.
Yeah.
As much as I don't love that.
Where's he at right now?
He's a Cowboys D
Cowboys.
coordinator.
Again, I don't know coordinators well.
I mean,
But
he
Dan
was-
Quinn?
Yeah, I know.
I
I,
mean,
just
he
knew he
was
was a
head
Falcon.
coach.
He's a
Yeah,
Falcon.
I
he's
don't know
Falcons
all the
head coach.
coordinators,
I know-
but
I know he's a-
Dan
well,
Quinn
I
is
know-
like
I
one of the
know who
most
he is.
famous ones.
Well, yeah, I know who he is. I just don't know where
I
he
mean,
is.
Kellen Moore also just is not getting any talks whatsoever.
As
I
he
don't think
should.
Kellen Moore should
He
be.
shouldn't
Yeah.
be right now.
He should not. Kellen Moore should not be. I know that one.
Yeah. A guy I'd look for is Bieniemy, maybe taking over
He's
for the
needed a
Commanders
job for 3 years.
So
Well,
this
they thought he was going to be the head coach last year.
when
or
everyone
the-
was all outraged that he didn't get a head coaching job last time he left, I thought that maybe he was going to the Commanders as like he
Bridge.
was going to usurp Ron Rivera because it was only a matter of time, right, before
Yeah.
Ron Rivera got fired, and now he's finally gone. I feel like you have the best option in house already.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I think he's needed a job.
I think you just promote him.
2-3 years.
Me
I agree
too.
with you.
So I think Eric should go there. I see Dan Quinn to the Seahawks. I would say
I think AP stays with the Raiders. Antonio Pierce.
I would agree. I hope he does.
I mean,
He
I would hope
deserves
so.
it.
I just know the Raiders make bad moves. They make really bad
My
moves.
question is, I wonder who the Panthers are going to take a shot at.
Do you mean who's going to take a shot on the Panthers?
Panthers look like the worst team here.
Yeah,
Like, I'm not
actually,
gonna
that's a way
lie.
better way of putting it.
Like
That the Panthers are definitely
Panthers
one
or
of the worst.
Titans.
My only benefit with the Panthers is they got Bryce Young, and who I still got
Which-
hoping.
Yeah.
I mean, people might look at Bryce Young and be like, "Oh, he's a bust." I'm not going to put my effort towards that.
He's
So
not a
that's-
bust.
okay, well, if an NFL coach is saying he's a bust after 1 year, they should just quit. But yeah, Bryce Young is pretty much the only.
Yeah, and the Panthers owner is just a
that's pretty much all they got.
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
yeah.
Anyways,
As far as Falcons, I don't know. Hopefully, I'd like to see Eric be there too, or Ben
that'd be
Johnson,
interesting.
offensive
Yeah,
mind with
Falcons,
that
that'd be
talent.
wild. But
Could be cool.
Or
anyways,
Sean Payton.
I believe that's as much time as we have for today's episode. Thank you for listening to our episode. It'll be out on Wednesday, or no, today's Wednesday. Someday. But make sure to listen to
You'll
all of our
find it.
stuff. Sports and Stuff show on everything. And thank you. And we'll see you in the next one.
Peace.
Yeah.